From the Cal Fire Information Center, I'm Daniel Berlant with an update on the wildfires burning in California for Monday, August 24th, 2020. Last night's temperatures were much more favorable for firefighters, though there was some lightning in some parts of California. Now, a red flag warning still remains in effect for much of Northern California. We'll talk about that weather in a moment. First, I want to talk about the fires. As you can there are still nearly 24 major wildfires burning across California. And this doesn't even capture the 625 fires that we have been battling since the start of this lightning siege, which, just as a reminder, was Saturday, August 15th. Now, last night there were 10 new fires, so not a significantly busy day, which is good because of all of these fires that are still burning. Let's talk, though, about some of the bigger complex fires. These are the lightning complex fires made up of a number of different fires. First, the LNU lightning complex has grown to over 350,000 acres. It's still the second largest wildfire now in our state's history. Good progress being made on this fire in particular, including the Wallbridge fire. I'll zoom in here. Wallbridge fire has been burning just to the west of Healdsburg. As progress has been made there, a number of the evacuations there have been lifted. This series of fires, 22% contained. Going down to the East Bay, just to the east of San Jose, this is the SCU lightning complex, and continued progress made there as well. 10% contained now on these fires, a total of 347,000 acres there. And in the South Bay, in the Santa Cruz Mountains, this is the CZU lightning complex. Here's Boulder Creek, Ben Lomond. Just some perspective, here is Santa Cruz. This fire has grown now to 74,000 acres. Yesterday, there were some additional evacuations. The fire now 8% contained. The good news here, as I mentioned, that more favorable weather, we actually saw a little bit of rainfall across some of the coast. Obviously, that is helping firefighters, though the temperatures over the next couple days, not necessarily going to be continued favor. Now, if you want updates on all these other fires, you can actually get this whole map and the update rundown here at fire.ca.gov. Let's talk about the weather, though. Lightning strikes, as predicted, did occur. However, as we'll be joined by the Weather Service in just a moment, it wasn't as significant as predicted, though there were some strikes along the Sierra, specifically down in Calaveras County up into Amador and El Dorado counties. You can see there just south of Lake Tahoe. So what can we expect today? Well, it's going to be another hot day. 100 degrees in Ukiah, 95 in Chico, 97 in Sacramento. So these aren't the extreme temperatures that we had when this siege occurred, but it's still going to be hot. As I mentioned, a red flag warning remains in effect through tonight due to the potential of more dry lightning, so we're continuing to be on high alert. However, this red flag warning has been changed a bit. The Sacramento Valley is no longer under that red flag warning, so it's still the coast, Northern California, the northeastern tip of California. Again, that red flag warning in effect. I'm going to turn it over now to Michelle Mead, who joins us from the National Weather Service with a quick update on the weather.
And I just wanted to give you a quick weather update on what's going on across the state for the next 24 hours and a quick outlook for the rest of the week. So we did have some subtropical remnants move over the area overnight last night, and that trend is continuing this morning, mostly across Northern California. Good news and bad news. The good news is the lightning did spare the coast, where a lot of the fires are going right now, so that is good news. The bad news is we did have more lightning strikes in the inland region along the Sierra Crest. So be on the lookout, of course, for any smoke plumes from that new lightning. That energy is going to be shifting north throughout the day and overnight period. So we're going to still have showers and thunderstorms for the afternoon and evening, mainly north of Chico, Redding area and into the Sierra foothills. Then things are going to move off to our north and east, and unfortunately that means the ridge builds back in for some drier weather, less winds, which is a good thing, but it also means any smoke from the fires are going to have a tough time mixing out. So the smoke will definitely keep the high temperatures low, but we are going to see the drying conditions can come back. We have a little bit of relief from this precipitation we got over the last 24 hours. But with the system moving out, we'll see some drying conditions. So stay alert. Of course, see something, say something. One less spark, one less fire. And hopefully the end of the month will be the end of our heat, and we're looking at a potential cool down for the first part of September. And yes, that is next week. That's it for the weather part. Thanks, and have a safe day.
Now, the good news on the red flag warning is that much of Northern California that had been under that red flag warning has since been lifted. In fact, you can see this is where the red flag warning remains. The Bay Area, the Sacramento Valley, no longer under a red flag warning. But pretty much above the North Bay, just above Sonoma County, all the way to the Oregon border, northeastern California, down the Sierra, just to above Yosemite. This still remains under a red flag warning. We could still see some scattered thunderstorms, some dry lightning, some strong winds. So still some red flag warnings in effect, but the good news here, the Bay Area, the Sacramento Valley, no longer under those red flag warnings. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how this fire siege compares to last year and even previous sieges. Compared to 2019, for the same time period through this date in August, we have responded to more than 2,700 wildfires and that have burned more than 1.4 million acres. Again, that's just compared to last year during the same time period. More than 2,700 wildfires, 1.4 million more acres burned. So you can see a significantly busier fire season this year than last year at the same time period in 2019. Now, fire sieges. We've had lightning fire sieges in the past, 2008, 1987. However, in this siege, we have seen more acres burned. These fires have been incredibly destructive. One of those reasons is the factor that we had extreme triple digits when these fires ignited. As we've talked about, several of these fires are now in the top 20 largest wildfires in our state's history. And we are only in August now. Typically, it's September and October when we experience the largest and our most damaging wildfires. So with the red flag warnings that I mentioned, with the fire siege, and with the fact we're not even in the fall months, firefighters remain on high alert. We're continuing to bring in additional resources. In fact, as of today, we have 78 fire engines from other states that are now assisting us. More are on their way. So we're continuing to see a strong firefight despite the weather conditions, even with a little bit more favorable weather, though, the last few hours. Now, for the latest on all these fires and for good ways for you to be prepared, visit these websites, readyforwildfire.org and fire.ca.gov. Of course, you can follow us on our social media, Facebook and Twitter for the latest. So that's the latest on the fires burning in California. I'm Daniel Berlant. Have a fire-safe day.